into exile. I must go. Failed, I have.
Yoda's choice to hide on Dagobah for decades is way deeper than you think, and I'm about to break it down for you. Thanks for checking out Star Wars District. If you are feeling generous, please hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps my channel grow. So, Grand Master Yoda. He spent nearly 3 decades on the murky swamp planet of Dagobah after the fall of the Jedi. But why did he choose to isolate himself there? Of all places, let's unravel the mysteries of this unexpected choice by recapping the past. So the common explained answer is that Yoda went to Dagobah to hide after his failed duel with Emperor Palpatine, aka Darth Sidious. After Order 66, the death of all Jedi and Operation Nightfall, the siege of the Jedi Temple, Yoda was left with a heavy burden. The Jedi are no more. The Galactic Empire had risen, and with it, the dark side grew stronger overall. Yoda faced the challenge of preserving the Jedi legacy while remaining hidden from the Empire's reach. He knew he couldn't fight back openly, so he sought refuge on Dagobah, a planet that was both remote and somewhat inhospitable. The planet Dagobah was extremely strong in the dark side and would be able to hide the Force signature of Grandmaster Yoda. So, one quick answer to the question is that Yoda was simply depressed. He is the champion of the light side of the Force. Yoda was the Grand Master of the Jedi Order for roughly 800 years, and he lost to Sidious. Everything he stood for just fell apart, and he could not reassemble it. Remember that iconic moment when Yoda tells Luke, "Do or do not, there is no try." That saying encapsulates Yoda's philosophy, emphasizing commitment and the importance of intent. Yoda intended to defeat Sidious and avenge his fallen Jedi, but he could not. His pride and ego were destroyed when he faced Sidious. Yoda was simply depressed enough after his failure to stay in the swamps of Dagobah. Plus, he also felt the death of relatively every Jedi in the galaxy. Yoda is quite possibly just overwhelmed with grief and depression. However, this is not the only reason he remained on Dagobah. Let's return back to the Revenge of the Sith movie and novel. On Mustafar, Padme was force choked by Anakin. Then, Obi-Wan and Anakin had their epic duel. Surviving the duel, C-3PO, Padme, and Obi-Wan all flee the planet together. They ultimately make contact with Master Yoda. The entire group rally with Senator Organa in space. The last true members of the Jedi Order are Yoda and Obi-Wan. Padme is due to give birth to Anakin's children, Luke and Leia. These 2 children are the potential future of the new Jedi Order. Yoda was in a dark place losing to Sidious. Taking the loss in battle was harsh, but more devastating than losing the entire Jedi Order was for Yoda to realize that he could never beat Sidious. Darth Tenebrious, Plagueis, and Sidious all played a hand in using the dark side to blind the vision of the Jedi. During the entire Clone War, the Jedi were not able to access the Force with the level of skill they are normally accustomed to. But finally, while battling with Sidious in the Senate chamber building, Yoda was able to pierce the shroud of the dark side. He was granted clarity in the Force, and the realization came to him that not only will he lose the fight with Sidious, but the Jedi overall had lost the very battle they were attempting to win, years ago, before they even started. The Revenge of the Sith novel explores the inner dialogue that Yoda had while fighting Sidious in the Senate chamber. He saw it all and knew that he could not win. Fast forwarding, Yoda is lost on what to do. He believes that he has to rebuild the Jedi Order and confront Sidious again, but they have little to no resources and no body strong enough to oppose Vader and Sidious. Then a realization comes over Yoda, Padme. She is giving birth to the children of the prophesied Chosen One. Yoda knows that Anakin's children will be wildly powerful in the Force. They could be significant allies. So, he crafts a plan. Swiftly and imperceptibly, he used the Force to drain the life essence from Padme. This may seem uncharacteristic for Yoda, but he is in a place of desperation. And this was a real-world situation that Yoda did not find himself in very often. He was powerless. He was in metaphorical, uncharted water, but he knew that he wanted Padme out of the picture so that he could train Luke and Leia. After all, how realistic is it that she would be willing to either give up her children or let them follow in the ways of the man that just choked and tried to kill her. Yoda could not take the chance of Padme opposing his plan, so he used the Force to kill her. In his confused and grieving state, Obi-Wan would not even notice the Force being used by Yoda in such a subtle and skillful manner. Bail Organa is not Force-sensitive, and the medical droid would not be able to diagnose why Padme died. The perfect crime, as they say. Now, I've heard theories that Padme lost the will to live because of Anakin's actions, and ultimately she died of a broken heart, or in medical terms, Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. Even though it exists in our real non-fiction world and people have died from it, I don't believe this is the reason Padme passed away. Even though I am blending real world and fictional science, Star Wars medical and science technology is far beyond the real world. The medical droid that helped to birth Luke and Leia is a highly skilled surgeon, diagnostician, and healer. Yet it's stated that metabolically she is fine, but for unknown reasons, she is dying. The droid was not able to find a medical reason for her acute sudden onset of system failure and slowly dying. I find it a bit odd that after hearing that she is mysteriously dying, that Yoda never used the Force to evaluate her. The reason being is because he needed her out of the picture. Takotsubo can kill you because in response to deep, sudden emotional trauma, the heart muscles become suddenly weakened. The circulation of blood to the body is swiftly reduced or stopped. It is kind of similar to a heart attack. However, Takotsubo or TTS differs from a heart attack because it is emotion-triggered. Thus, the usual cardiac indicators or telltale signs will not show the typical blockage of arteries or lack of blood circulation like a heart attack will. So Padme was healthy, she was under stress, but she did not die of a heart attack or a broken heart. The medical equipment and droids were more than capable of detecting issues of that nature. What this means is the Padme did not die over Anakin becoming a Sith Lord. Padme was taken from life by the hands of Yoda. Episode 3 shows that Yoda was never in the delivery room with Padme, always on the outside and somewhat away from Obi-Wan Kenobi. Close, but always away. This way, he could use deception and his elite Force abilities without detection. To further illustrate my point, Padme's dying words to Obi-Wan was that she felt and knew Anakin still had good in him. Anakin is the love of her life. Padme would not just lose the will to live. They support and live for each other. She is not going to just decide to die, especially when she has 2 newly born children in addition to a husband that needs her. To me, her dying words indicate that she believes Anakin is worth fighting for. Now more than ever, Padme has a reason to fight on and live. When Padme took her final breath, Yoda was furious and supremely disappointed with himself. He justified murder to resurrect his fallen Jedi Order. As a result, he did not accept the role of taking care of Luke and/or Leia. During his exile on Dagobah, he vowed to never leave again. As a form of penance for his weakness and cowardly act, Yoda decided to live the rest of his life in a way that could never hurt anyone else again. Yoda decided to put his faith in the Force and trust in it to guide him. I ask you to guide yourself to the comment section and let me know what you think of my theory.